As you know, we've inherited quite a budget crunch from President Trump. How bad is it, Secretary Van Houten?
We're broke.
Okay, kids, make it fast. I've got a plane to catch.
We've created a magazine. Mr. Trump, we give you
Scabby.
So what do you think of my Trump Home mattress collection by Serta?
Welcome to Room 9.
Looking good, number 9. Looking good.
Just a few samples of predictive programming to get things started. Each of them prophetic in some sense, I guess you might say. It's one thing to orchestrate fortune tellings and a few TV spots. It's a whole other thing to do so by making full-on alterations to reality, which is what we'll explore today when it comes to prophetic possibilities with the Mandela effect. This video is primarily directed toward longtime Mandela veterans, already aware of a broad range of changes, who have a strong grasp on the nuances of the ME, and are able to accept we don't always experience all the exact same changes. I'll be operating on the assumption the viewer has explored various possible causes and meanings past being shook and saying CERN did it. Given everything I've experienced these past few years, I'm comfortable declaring there's an intelligence behind this phenomenon, attempting to communicate spiritual messages. In saying that, though, there's no way to know for certain at this point if prophecy is part of that communicative intent. What's put forth in this video is purely for interpretive speculation and consideration. While contemplating some older Mandela effects, something struck me with the Born in the USA bandana to red hat change. It reminded me of a MAGA hat, something representative of current events. The flag stripes in the background also linking it to President Trump, who was born June 14th, which happens to be Flag Day. Then the possibility of current event representation really began to strike me when I reanalyzed the change to the cartoon mask, which I became aware of in late 2018. A lesser-known change, but a gold star one for me that I'll eventually make a video on if circumstances allow, where the dots in the name have disappeared. The letters used to be spread out and separated as an acronym for Mobile Armored Strike Command. That's command with a K. Now it's just simply the word mask, with the letters M and A merged. Which, trust me, is an incredibly big change if you're a young boy in the 80s familiar with a TV show and toys. Even if you weren't, take a glance down at the bottom. Tell me that doesn't resemble someone wearing a medical mask. It's also interesting that MA is an abbreviation for medical assistant. The whole thing's been tripping me out. After knowing about this change for these last couple years, well before the scamdemic, it's hard not to view it as a prophetic little clue as to the times we're living in, which got me thinking about other MEs. Let's bring Henry VIII into the mix with those fancy new gloves he's been holding. The exorcist girl with that tube stuck up her nose. Medical-related changes to organizations that have had their roles in the news lately, like Johns Hopkins, and the Centers for Disease Control. All being changed, then brought to our attention just a few years before or right around these most recent times and events. Are they prophetic markers, alerts, signs of the times as we get closer to a monumental spiritual event? Some could even be getting communicated with a sense of humor to them, like Dr. Dolittle. First of all, it's noteworthy there was a reboot to Dolittle at the beginning of the year, followed by medical staff and doctors who appeared to do little. Who will soon be coming at us with injections because they're licensed to ill. This might be coming off as silly, but I really do think there's something to it. Let's not forget the BLM protests and the Paint It versus Painted Black Rolling Stones ME, where we've seen city streets painted black, not with the color, but with the word. There's also the Beatles' Come Together ME. That in hindsight could be describing the aspect of the event that triggered mass protests to begin with. These two dialogue changes are ones I've been interpreting as messages of ascension, but maybe they have different or dual purpose meanings. Calling out the flies, making headlines that have landed on our beloved, most prominent politicians throughout these recent times.
Fly, you fools!
Now fly! Fly!
I'm a parent who's heard the intro to Little Einsteins more times than I'd care to admit. For me, they used to sing flying through the sky, but now it's changed to zooming. I've known about it well before this chaotic year started, so it's kind of strange and seems prophetic that that's what so many of us are at home doing now. Zooming through the sky for work and school. On Zoom. Granted, some of these may be a stretch of a connection or interpretation, so I'll repeat. I'm not saying this is anything definitive. I'm saying it's worth considering. Food for thought during this holiday season. Something to keep an eye on when it comes to other changes that may eventually fall in line with current and future events. In the Bible, Jesus speaks about telling of things beforehand and his reason for doing so. Could the Creator be using a similar sort of approach when it comes to prophetic clues embedded in reality shifts, further revealing the divine source behind them, serving as a stamp of authenticity? Or is it all just sinister, next-level predictive programming? This closes out content from me for this torturous, yet somehow faster than ever year. Have a best rest of 2020 that you can, everyone. Things will only be getting crazier from here on out.